You're listening to the Exchange Daily, built for CIOs, CISOs, CTOs, and public sector and enterprise tech leaders who need the signal, not the noise. Today is December 17, 2025. If the last couple of weeks felt like wall-to-wall cyber, today's edition widens the lens back to modernization, procurement, and AI governance that will shape budgets and delivery. We'll start with the FAA's air traffic control modernization effort. Then we'll cover a key constraint on federal modernization funding through the Technology Modernization Fund. After that, we'll hit the OPM TechForce talent surge, new OMB AI procurement guidance, and the standards and acquisition moves that are reshaping how tech gets delivered. The Federal Aviation Administration is moving forward with a major air traffic control modernization effort, and the integration model is the story to watch. When a program spans telecom, radar, automation, and nationwide operations, the success factor isn't one vendor's product. It's sequencing, cutovers, and measurable milestones across the full system. For CIOs and program executives, this is a reminder to treat integration testing, operational continuity, and vendor coordination as first-class delivery work. The risk isn't just technical debt, it's operational disruption when components don't land in the right order. Watch for how the program defines interoperability requirements, acceptance criteria, and governance for multi-vendor change control. Now let's talk modernization funding, because the Technology Modernization Fund is constrained by an authorization wall that blocks new investments under current law. In practice, that narrows the pipeline for new modernization starts, even if agencies have strong business cases and real demand. For federal CIOs, the immediate action is portfolio triage, which projects can proceed with base funding, which ones can be phased without breaking outcomes, and which ones need a contingency plan so delivery doesn't stall. This is also a good moment to tighten benefits tracking, because projects that can prove measurable outcomes tend to survive funding turbulence. On the workforce side, the U.S. Office of Personnel Management has launched the United States Tech Force as a cross-government program to recruit technologists for modernization delivery. This matters because modernization fails when government can't retain enough technical leadership to own architecture, manage delivery, and hold vendors to outcomes. If you lead IT operations, watch how TechForce participants are embedded, what authority they're given, and how success is measured, because empowerment determines whether this becomes real delivery capacity or just a recruiting headline. If you're in government, start thinking now about where you'd place senior technologists so they can remove bottlenecks quickly. Turning to AI policy and governance, the Office of Management and Budget has issued Memorandum M2604 on unbiased AI principles. And the operational impact is that governance is being tied directly to procurement. Even if you set aside the framing, the shift is simple. Contracts are becoming the enforcement layer for model behavior expectations, transparency, and reporting processes. For acquisition leaders, that means standardizing evaluation methods, documenting test results, and writing requirements that are auditable instead of vague. For security leaders, it means aligning vendor controls, logging, and incident response expectations with how AI systems will actually be used in mission workflows. If you buy or deploy large language models, expect more formal checks on claims, performance, and escalation paths. Standards are catching up too, with the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, publishing an initial public draft of a cybersecurity framework profile for artificial intelligence. The executive value is that it gives you a translation layer from AI risk into security outcomes, controls, and measurable gaps across the AI lifecycle. If you're building or buying AI, this can anchor reference architectures, security reviews, and vendor questionnaires, so teams aren't reinventing the wheel in every program. The practical win is consistency, because you can apply the same expectations across agencies, business units, and vendors. In procurement news, the General Services Administration, or GSA, is moving Oasis Plus into Phase 2 activity that expands competition across services domains. For buyers, the near-term value is a deeper bench for professional services tied to modernization, data, and AI-adjacent programs, which can reduce friction when speed matters. For industry teams, it's a readiness test, because documentation discipline and domain alignment will matter as much as technical capability. If you run programs that depend on contract vehicles, this is a reminder to keep acquisition planning integrated with delivery planning so you don't lose months to avoidable procurement churn. FedRAMP is also pushing process modernization with FedRAMP 20X Phase 2, aimed at testing a faster authorization to operate approach. If this works, it can reduce time and cost for adopting cloud services, which is one of the most practical blockers to modernization momentum. For agency leaders, the question is how Phase 2 balances speed with rigor, and whether continuous monitoring evidence becomes more usable in day-to-day operations. For cloud providers, this is a signal to align engineering, compliance, and documentation early, because faster paths still require clean evidence. At the state level, the National Association of State Chief Information Officers, or NASCIO, has published its 2026 State CIO Top 10, and the headline is that AI takes the #1 slot. That doesn't mean cybersecurity is gone. It means state leaders are treating AI adoption, governance, and value delivery as the defining operational challenge for the coming year. For state CIOs and agency IT leaders, the work is shared platforms, shared guardrails, and shared enablement, so each agency doesn't rebuild the same governance from scratch. For vendors, expect more demand for package governance, privacy alignment, and cost controls alongside the AI capability itself. Before we close, one CyberWatch item still deserves attention, because edge exposure can undermine every modernization plan in a week. The National Vulnerability Database reflects known exploited vulnerability status for CVE 2025-59718, a Fortinet issue tied to active exploitation tracking. The executive takeaway is to keep your patch now lane narrow but uncompromising for perimeter and edge devices, because these are frequent entry points with outsized blast radius. If you're measuring program health, treat exposure management as part of modernization readiness, not as a separate security checklist. That's your Exchange Daily Update for today, and the through line is governance becoming operational through contracts, authorization paths, and talent strategy. If you're using these updates to drive decisions, share them with your leadership team and your program owners, so the follow-up actions don't get lost. Thanks for listening to today's Exchange Daily.